being the most powerful man in the world certainly does not keep you immune from sex scandals. Welcome to FactTrooper. In this video, you'll learn about the sex scandals that rocked the Oval Office. If you're new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. First up, Donald Trump. Yup, you probably knew that one. Donald Trump has been in the news for many wrong reasons. But in January 2018, it was reported that Trump had an affair with an adult film actress, Stormy Daniels, back in 2016, just before the presidential elections. Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, reportedly paid her $130,000 to keep her from speaking about the alleged affair and made her sign a non-disclosure agreement. Cohen denied Trump's involvement with the actress and tried to suppress the allegations, but later publicly acknowledged making the payments, which began a series of court proceedings that ended with him spending 3 years in jail. Later in 2018, the Washington Post published an Access Hollywood tape where Trump was heard bragging about grabbing women on the down below. He classified his statement as locker room talk, but after the release of that tape, more than a dozen women came forward with allegations of abuse and harassment. Jean Carroll, the talk show host, was one of the first to come public, claiming Trump had sexually assaulted her in a Manhattan dressing room in the mid-90s. His first wife, Ivana, also accused him of rape in her divorce deposition, but she recanted her accusation later, saying she didn't mean it in the criminal sense. I know, right? I'm still trying to figure out what falls under uncriminal rape. Next, the 42nd U.S. President and the two-time Governor and Attorney General of Arkansas, Bill Clinton. Juanita Broderick accused Bill Clinton of sexual assault back when he was the Attorney General of Arkansas in 1978. They met during one of his gubernatorial campaigns in his hometown of Van Buren. She alleges that Clinton made his way to her room and forced himself on her, but Clinton's lawyer, David A. Kendall, denied the rape accusations. Paula Jones sued Clinton during his presidency for allegedly exposing himself to her in a hotel room in 1991 while he was the governor. Clinton denies the allegations to this day, but the lawsuit ended in an $850,000 settlement. The most popular of Clinton's affairs has to be with Monica Lewinsky, a White House intern during his presidency. An affair he denied vehemently, but later publicly admitted to the relationship in 1998 after lying under oath. He became the second U.S. president to be impeached by the House of Representatives on counts of perjury and obstruction of justice. He was later acquitted in 1999. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and please leave your comments. Next, George W. Bush. Just like his father, Bush Sr., George W. Bush made the news for various allegations of sexual assault. He was accused of having an 18-month-long affair with a former stripper, Tammy Phillips, but wait till you hear what's next. Margie Schodinger, a Texas woman, accused him of raping her and possibly her husband. I'm not making this up. She allegedly filed a lawsuit for $50 million for emotional distress, loss of freedom, being disparaged on the internet, and the loss of pursuing a career as a Christian writer. She claimed that Bush kidnapped and drugged her and her husband in December of 2002 in Sugar Land, Texas, and conspired with law enforcement to cover up his crime. She died years later from an apparent self-inflicted gun wound, and the lawsuit she filed was removed from the history of lawsuits in the state of Texas. Spooky, right? You can find a link to this story on the description page. Let's move on. Next up, John F. Kennedy. JFK was smooth as a baby's cheek and widely regarded as the most handsome president to ever grace this planet. He had several high-profile affairs, most notably with the movie star Marilyn Monroe. He was also rumored to have an affair with Judith Campbell, the mistress of the mob boss Sam Giancana. JFK allegedly had an entanglement with Inga Arvad, who was rumored to be a Soviet spy. Speaking of spies, JFK reportedly had a short fling with Bertha Hildegard Eli, a model rumored to be a communist spy and the wife of a German Air Force sergeant stationed in D.C. She was subsequently expelled from the US, but it is said JFK's weaknesses for playgirls had the FBI on high alert. Last but not least, Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt allegedly had a long-time affair with his wife's secretary, Lucy Mercer. According to BuzzFeed, the affair likely began in 1916 when the First Lady discovered letters from Lucy in the president's suitcase. Although the First Lady would ask for a divorce, they remained married. Lucy was also one of the last people to see Roosevelt before he died in 1945. There were also rumors that President Roosevelt had an affair with the Crown Princess Marte of Norway, but this claim was never substantiated. Interestingly, according to an analysis by Scott Clement and Peyton Craighill of the Washington Post, Republicans have had more sex scandals than Democrats. While 86% of the Republican scandals involved elected officials cheating on their wives, 53% of Democrat scandals involved workplace harassments. What we know for sure is you don't always get away with cheating, even as the most powerful man in the world. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons. See you next time.